All right, good evening. I want to welcome everyone to the first installment of the District Advisory Committee. We have a series of these meetings associated with the state-mandated plans. This evening we will be reviewing key information associated with the first step to that process. Before we begin, and I turn this over to our Associate Superintendent, I have one public comment to read from Pavan Nandala. It says, and I quote, "It is a great decision of the board and members to start the school year virtually for all students. Thank you for driving it. With the recent spate of COVID positive cases in kids, it is imperative that we do not give this virus any leeway to take things easier. My recommendation is that we continue to distance learning for all grade levels, especially K-8, more of the vulnerable population until an effective vaccine has been rolled out for general population. Thanks. Let us know, or let us follow states and boards that are taking educated and data-driven decisions than intuition-based." That is the only public comment we have, and so I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our Associate Superintendent, Mr. Thor Harrison.
Thank you, Dr. Nicholas. Good evening. In the spring of the last school year, the CDE suspended the LCAP, the Local Control Accountability Plan, replacing the spring LCAP mandates with an operations report. The operations report encompassed how we deliver instruction, distance learning, how we ensured students received instruction, and how we were feeding our students on a regular basis. Moving forward, the learning continuity and attendance plan is supplanted by the LCAP fall activities. Now, where can I find this learning continuity attendance plan? If you go to the Lambertville Unified School District webpage, which we will do right now, and click on About LUSD, and then click on the LCAP LCFF District Advisory Committee button. That will take you to the page, and the first clickable document is the Learning Continuity Plan draft that we will be reviewing later on tonight. Thank you, Noel. The Learning Continuity Plan addresses how we engage all students, how we are providing a continuity of instruction for our students, accountability and supports for all students, mitigation of learning loss, social-emotional well-being of our students, and again, how we are feeding our students during distance learning time that we have started the school district. Now, I'd like to introduce Dr. Saylor. Dr. Saylor and other senior staff worked on this project, and he's going to run through some slides and give you a more detailed description of our plan. Dr. Saylor.
So, good evening, everyone.
Everybody see that on Zoom?
Yes. Okay, so like like Mr. Harrison said, I'm here to explain the learning continuity and attendance plan. So the major elements of the learning continuity plan are stakeholder engagement, continuity of learning, mental health and social emotional well-being, pupil and family engagement and outreach, school nutrition, and increased or improved services for foster youth, English learners, and low-income students. So part of the plan is engaging our stakeholders and gathering the information to develop this plan. Mine didn't change. And that involved a number of community surveys, 3, I believe, surveying our teachers union, LTA, our classified staff, CSEA, a survey that went specifically to our parents of students with disabilities, and then we also surveyed all district staff as well. We've also held a number of committee meetings focusing on curriculum instruction and logistics of starting the school year. And then we've also held several public meetings, or will be holding several meetings. DAC is tonight, DLAC is upcoming. Mountain House High School has held 3 seminars through the summer, and many of our board meetings have spent time talking about our educational plans this school year. And then our communication with the community, we've developed infographics and updated FAQ, and Dr. Nicholas has also created vignettes explaining where we are in our process. So looking more specifically at continuity of learning, we are looking at two models. One is in-person instructional offering, which will be a hybrid when County Public Health determines that it's safe to return to school. Until then, we are engaged in a distance learning program, TK through 12, with distance learning and a potential hybrid return, and then a group that is signed up for LVLA, and then the high school running an online program, and then a hybrid when they return. One of the things that we wanted to assure is we had all our students had access to devices and good connectivity, and to that extent we've purchased additional devices as well as hot points for those parents that don't have access to effective internet connections. We also are looking at pupil participation and progress, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Distance learning professional development. Our C&I coordinators did a fantastic job prior to the start of school, providing 2 days of professional development to our staff on our tech tools, and continue to provide professional development. They've also created model lessons for the first 12 days of school to assist teachers with more time for planning, as well as give them a model. And then we're also providing support for our people with unique needs, also known as students with disabilities, and looking at ensuring that we do not have pupil learning loss during this time. Within the mental health and social emotional well-being, we have 4 major groups that are providing that support. We have a district mental health counselor, 6 school psychologists, 5 guidance counselors, and a behaviorist, who have all developed websites or are in the process of developing websites to pass on information to the community, and are of course available to meet with students and staff individually or in groups. So for pupil family engagement and outreach, the instructional minutes for the school year have been adjusted. TK5, it's 180 minutes a day of instruction, synchronous or asynchronous. For 1st through 3rd grade, it's 230 minutes, and 4th through 12, 240. Excuse me, it's 230 1st through 3rd. Part of the plan is weekly engagement logs. This is to ensure that we have pupil participation, where we are ensuring that students are receiving that instruction, attending daily, and monitoring their work. And for pupils who fail to attend 60%, we will be engaging in re-engagement plan activities. So we continue to provide school nutrition. Breakfast and lunch are provided at our school sites. Students who are eligible for free or reduced price meals continue to receive that. And we've developed a touchless drive-through system at the school sites to ensure our staff and community safety. So looking at increased or improved services for foster youth English learners and low-income students, we've ensured that we have digital connectedness. Students have their devices, as well as hotspots if needed. There's 30 minutes daily of designated ELD instructional time. Small group instruction and dedicated intervention time is built into the instructional schedule. We have ongoing monitoring of students' progress, primarily through the weekly engagement logs, and then a number of different assessments to monitor our students' learning to ensure that we're not seeing learning loss. The MAP, which has been administered this week, DRA, LPAC, CASP in the spring, and then we have district common assessments in the various content areas. So as far as some of the financial expenditures that are part of the learning continuity plan, we've purchased clear desk barriers for our younger students, as well as for our special education staff to perform their assessments at $35,000. Additional custodial support and supplies, $20,000. Additional devices to ensure that we have one-to-one with students, Edgenuity and AP licenses, and that's $592,000. coordinators, development time to provide that PT and lessons or PD, IT tech support, $323,000. The NWA MAP assessment, that's what students are taking currently, $219,000. Mental health and behavioral health services, $66,000. And supplies for touchless meal distribution and support for the food program at $125,000. And overall, our apportionment, the money we received for our unduplicated students as part of the LCFF is $2,349,000. Questions?
So seeing that there are no questions for Dr. Saylor, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Harrison?
Just to sum up, this plan will go to other stakeholder groups, and then it will be taken to the board for a first read on September 2nd.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so if there are no questions and the presentation is complete, then we are prepared to end the District Advisory Committee meeting unless someone has a final comment. All right, well, thank you very much. This is our first installment of the District Advisory Committee. There will be additional meetings to cover LCAP-related and state regulatory reports moving forward. Thank you for your attendance this evening.